Money everywhere else.
Jimmy Brown still willing to enter the fray, driving it forward, touched on by Mark Butler to Tom Riley, inside to TJ Kilgallen. Oh, saved by the goalkeeper, Gay Sheeran.
Hello and welcome. Well, the Connacht football final had the championship stage all to itself today. We'll have action from the big game at Douglas Hyde Park in Roscommon coming up very shortly. Well, Enda Culleran is with us once again in studio. We'll be hearing his big match analysis later on. Also his man of the match selection, and who knows, Enda, maybe even a tip for Galway races.
Yes, I'll have a few winners for you during the week, all right.
Oh, well, we'll hold you to that maybe later on in the programme. Well, now, the meeting of Mayo and Roscommon in today's Connacht final was a repeat of the 1985 decider. On that occasion, Mayo travelled to Hyde Park in Roscommon and won. Well, the local supporters were hoping that today things would be a little different. Commentator for the big match, Ger Canning.
Connacht final day in Dr. Hyde Park, Roscommon always has its own particular West of Ireland atmosphere. The supporters, as usual, are colourful and enthusiastic. Indeed, it's a big day out for the whole family. Both competing finalists this year have lived in the shadow of Galway in recent years. It's 3 years since Mayo's last win and 8 years since Roscommon last sampled Connacht glory. But in every final, hope springs eternal, even on a blustery, windswept afternoon.
Roscommon going to win. And I think Mayo are going to win this game.
We're going to do it in style, absolutely, no problem.
And we're keeping these for the semi-final in Dublin. We're keeping them.
I don't go.
It's going to be Mayo.
Oh, Mayo are going to win. Oh, yes, absolutely. Because they've come here to win, so they have. I find it very hard to say that because up till recently I was a Roscommon man. However, I have to say Mayo will win.
Oh, I think definitely Roscommon. We have a conflict of interest here, but I'm sure they'll do it.
It'll be a very close game. Mayo are going to win. They're the better team.
Roscommon have taken the courageous decision of omitting the experienced Harry Keegan. Their reconstructed defence sees Gary Wynne take over at right back, with Michael Donlan coming in at wing back. Midfield and attack is unaltered, so look out for number 15 Tom Lennon, who's expected to once again adopt a roving commission. The only Mayo doubt concerned John Finn, the side's left half back. His ankle injury has cleared up sufficiently to permit his inclusion. Elsewhere, the team is identical to that which finished triumphantly against Sligo in a one-sided semi-final, with Liam McHale on the 40 and Tom Morgan on the fringe of the square. Roscommon owed much to their high-fielding John Newton for their win over Galway last month, and TJ Kilgallen of Mayo will be hoping to curb his threat in the absence through injury of Willie Joe Patton. And the lively, darting breeze there, going through the national flag, and once again an indication of the direction. It's quite a diagonal breeze. The referee is a former Connacht medalist, Sligo's Mickey Kearns. And Mayo, who won the toss, up to play with the aid of a lively darting breeze in the first half. TJ Kilgallen downfield, cut out here however, and swung away into the middle by Des Newton. Dermot Flanagan, centre half back of course. Gary Wynne, he'll have to get rid of it quickly as the Mayo forwards force him into the area. Overheading and a scoring chance for Mayo. Mark Butler is the free taker. Gay Sheeran organises. The breeze is somewhat diagonal, blowing away to his left. And he's missed it. The opening opportunity was presented to Mark Butler of Mayo. Well, such is the strength of the breeze that Roscommon, I'm sure, would be happy to be within 3 points of Mayo at half-time. That's a good leap. Sean Maher. And he's fouled. And there, the relaxing substitutes across in the Mayo bench. Liam McHale fisting it down towards Martin Carney on the left boot. That looks a good one. The veteran of the side, Martin Carney, 35 years of age, gives Mayo the lead. And he got that punch down nicely from Liam McHale, the centre forward, turned, took the defence out of the way, and that's a very smart shot. Up towards John Kelly, and there was a push in the back by Dennis Carney and a free to Roscommon. Paul Early, who kicked some good frees against Galway in the semi-final, is the taker. Into the breeze. Jimmy Brown deceived, and it's Tommy Lennon once again. Looking for support now, getting it from John Kelly. Into the unmarked Seamus Killoran. The little chip shot, and the sides are on level terms. Roscommon's really first attack produces the equalising score. Lavin's kick dropping in midfield. TJ Kilgallen here, going back to gather. That's down towards Martin Carney, who switched into the centre. And he's put it wide, and the goal was yawning before him. The former Donegal player had drifted into the centre. He was followed by Gary Wynne as that long speculative ball came in. Deceived the defence to some extent. He met it on the volley but couldn't keep it on target. Mayo have had themselves some very good opportunities for opening scores. It remains 1 point apiece. Oh, three defenders missing and mixing it up between them. It comes to Tony McManus. First opportunity he's had. Ball away to Junior McManus, his cousin. Player loose inside, but he's going for a score. It comes off Dennis Carney's fingers, down to Eugene Lavin. And Mayo living a charmed existence. So misses at both ends. Sean Maher into the centre. Matthew Riley going thundering out for it. Noel Durkin can't hold on to it. Here's Maher again. Fouled and a free to Mayo. Dermot Flanagan, short one. Tom Riley delaying somewhat. Flanagan comes forward. The team captain into the loose unmarked TJ Kilgallen down to Noel Durkin. And there's another point, a second one for Mayo. Noel Durkin is the scorer. The result of a good build-up, and Dermot Flanagan very much involved. Into the arms of John Newton, the first time he's got some space. And straight away, they want to curb his threat and allow him absolutely no leeway. Well, having missed two frees from about this distance. Different angle, however. Paul Early this time belting it straight over the posts. And the sides are on level terms. Paul Early's first pointed free. They seem to have gone out of it in the last few minutes. Roscommon playing against the breeze, holding them up well in midfield. This is Sean Maher now. Down towards Tom Morgan, trying to get some change out of Pat Dury. Fouled. And that will be a free in from the 13-metre line. So Mark Butler, on this sharp angle, slotting it over for his first point. Gail Sheeran's kick aimed towards John Newton. Being marked over there by Sean Maher, who's doing very well so far. Michael Donlan getting there, touching it down. And there's a foul on Paul Hickey. "20 minutes of play, 3 points to 2. And an awful lot of frees so far. Matthew Riley outside to Michael Donlan. He's got support from Seamus Killoran, taking up a good position once again on the left-hand side. Ambitious ball across field, read well by Dennis Carney, then released quickly to John Finn, player who passed a fitness test last evening. Tom Morgan rather, has decided to come way up from his full forward position, pursued over there by Dury. A determined Noel Durkin dispossessing him, holding it, waiting for support to come forward. Releasing it to Liam McHale, who is unmarked, slack marking, and McHale advances on goal, but that's a poor pass as he tried to play it forward to Martin Carney. At Roscommon at 6s and 7s, back there in defence, it comes back to McHale, looking for a scoring chance, and it's over the bar. 4 points to 2. Liam McHale is the scorer. And really the defence was in a dither that time. TJ Kilgallen was up there, denied by the goalkeeper, came back to McHale. Was short of space, but still managed to have enough room to get it on the left boot. Mark Butler hasn't been in much of the open play so far. Dermot Flanagan still up there, taking the freeze from every angle. That curls in delightfully towards McHale, down to Tom Riley, well blocked down by Des Newton. Great corner back play. It's with Martin Carney, and he really has burned the chance. It was a really good chance. Liam McHale took that ball as it came in from a free, down to Tom Riley, and a great block down. Really good defending. Towards John Kelly. Dennis Carney pursues, but in vain pursuit. Jersey pulled, and a free in. Paul Early, who played two Roscommon sides, beaten in two Connacht finals, doesn't want to have that happen again. It's now 4 points to 3, and he's got 2 of those Roscommon points. So 4 minutes to go to half-time. That's smartly bet by Matthew Riley. Wanted support on this left-hand side. Got it from Tommy Lennon. Ooh, a low tackle from behind by Michael Collins on Tony McManus. Dermot Flanagan realising what a desperate situation his side is in at the moment. Yielding freeze. Paul Early belting it forward. It was touched in and down and saved, and it's outside and wide. So near to being a Roscommon goal. That very well struck free. John Kelly was going there, so too Junior McManus, down and away by Eugene Lavin and belted wide. So near misses at both ends. TJ Kilgallen. Oh, that's neatly into the path of Mark Butler. Looking for support, getting it from Tom Morgan. Tom Riley's in the square in there, and so too, well met by Martin Carney. And over the bar, and it's 5 points to 3. Martin Carney's second score. John Newton tussling over there, breaks down to Dermot Flanagan, released to TJ Kilgallen of Mayo. Long effort, Tom Morgan, full back there too. And it's neatly taken up by Gary Wynn, releasing it to Matthew Riley. Thundering forward, but he's left it behind him to Tom Morgan. And the referee signals that foul. Ball touched on the ground. Noel Durkin is anxious to take it quickly. I'm sure it's going to be Mark Butler who'll take it, however, and the referee, I think, is signalling to him that this might well be the last kick of the half. Well, Dermot Flanagan has decided to take responsibility upon himself. Young Mark Butler having missed a number of kickable scores. And it was a wise decision. Well on target by Mayo's top player, Dermot Flanagan. That free gives them a 3-point cushion at half-time. And there's the whistle from Mickey Kearns, and I'm sure the question the fans are going to be asking, just how influential is that breeze? 28 frees in all in the half. Not an awful lot to cheer about for neutrals. It ends Mayo 6 points, Roscommon 3. And that's where we take our leave of the Connacht Football Championship for just a moment, but we will be right back after this break. This, incidentally, is Mayo's on Connacht final day, and they've just one victory to show for that so far, but leading as we start the second half by 6 points to 3. Now, what kind of tactics will they approach playing into the breeze? Pat Dury is playing well at fullback this afternoon, running into a strong shoulder with a fair one from TJ Kilgallen. Seamus Killoran knocking it on towards John Kelly, whose right thigh, as you see there, is very heavily strapped up. Michael Collins. Breeze blowing across towards that side of the field from the grandstand side. Joey Connaughton chipping it in, and once again taken by Dermot Flanagan. Held by Paul Early, and they're having quite a duel there. Michael Donlan is the player who's down injured. Left half back being attended there by Marty McDermott. Very good sized crowd present this afternoon, easily 20,000. They must have been very disappointed with the fare on offer there in that first half. Eugene Lavin is the free taker. Good kick against the breeze. Paul Early getting more into the game. Getting very little change out of Dermot Flanagan. That's a push from behind by Collins on Tony McManus. Paul Early, a little low ball inside for Tony McManus, the kind of ball he likes to get. Swings it neatly, down off the post it comes, down to the waiting Jimmy Brown. Away to Frank Noon. Towards Martin Carney, no longer operating at corner forward. Frank Noon, little chip forward for Noel Durkin. Around Seamus Killoran there with the outside of the boot, picking out Martin Carney, low ball inside. Back there's Paul Hickey, challenged unfairly by Tom Morgan.
Come on, Ross!
Very, very poor kick out. It comes straight to Noel Durkin. Blocked down well, but back to Liam McHale. The pass into space. And very, very little going right for Liam McHale or for either set of forwards this afternoon. Durkin held surely by Paul Hickey, and that's a free. Meanwhile, on the far side, Jimmy Burke, the great campaigner, is getting ready, and I'm sure he'll be brought in very shortly into that Mayo attack. Taken very smartly by Butler to TJ Kilgallen, onto Martin Carney as they work it in nearer to the goal, and that's the opening point of the second half. Will that be a rallying point now for Mayo? They've opened up a 4-point lead. And here's Jimmy Burke coming in. We'll just wait to see who is going to go off. And it's Tom Morgan, I think, who's about to leave the game. The full forward is gone, replaced by Jimmy Burke. Free jump in midfield for Liam McHale, the basketball international, chipping outside to John Finn. Mayo, remember, playing away, and this is Jimmy Burke. First touch, good control, slows it down to TJ Kilgallen. The entire defence moved out. What terrible defending. TJ Kilgallen has an easy chance, and that's 2 points for Mayo in the space of a minute. TJ Kilgallen, I'm sure, couldn't believe the amount of space he was given. What great play this was by Burke. The entire defence converged on Burke. Just watch them all drift away. Very slack marking. Pass not absolutely inch perfect, but just good enough nonetheless. And a very good finish by Kilgallen as he rounded the defender and stuck it straight over. Tommy Lennon, the rover, seems to be down injured, receiving rapid running repairs. The player that they're getting ready to bring in would appear to be Eamon McManus Senior, I think. Yes, McManus Senior comes in. So Paul Early looks for Roscommon's first point of the second half. Can he get over that defiant figure there? Dermot Flanagan, on this occasion he can, to get his third pointed free. And a remarkable statistic, not one of the forwards, aside from Paul Early, has scored in this contest for Roscommon. "12 minutes into the second half. John Newton jumping. Comes down, however, to his partner, Seamus Killoran, trying to feed Gary Wynn. Comes to Martin Carney, who's doing a lot of very useful work there in the half-forward line. Jimmy Burke, the layoff to McHale. Outside is Tom Riley. Oh, it's a goal! A goal by Tom Riley. The first really bit of enterprising play, and Martin Carney was the instigator. Good vision from Jimmy Burke, laying it into McHale, who spotted the opening outside, and Riley had time to gather, turn, and belted way into the roof of the far corner. The opening goal. So that really has set Mayo up now. The referee whistles up, and he's awarding a free from just about 15 metres out for Roscommon. Meanwhile, the stretcher has been brought in for Tommy Lennon. Paul Early, early in the second half, is content to chip over his fourth point. Roscommon's fifth. And all his points coming from frees, remember. Quick kick out taken here to Dennis Carney. Mayo playing in their 9th final in 10 years, and they've won only 2 of those, remember. And one of the 2 was here 3 years ago. Dury, the fullback, kicking, taken well by Gary Wynn, just ahead of Sean Maher. Foul by Sean Maher. Jersey being pulled. Referee not allowing an advantage, and the fans booing accordingly. Mickey Kearns, I think, who brings to refereeing an intimate knowledge of the pressures players are under on a big match day. And there's a very sad sight. Tommy Lennon making his way off. Now can his colleagues rally and get themselves back into the game? They trail by a goal and 3 points at the moment. Stopped that time by Liam McHale, followed out by John Finn, and Martin Carney here. Great servant of Mayo football. Finn again. Up to Tom Riley, the goal scorer. Taken well by Des Newton, turning, striking it away to Seamus Killoran. Tempo of the game picks up. Roscommon with a real challenge on their hand. Missed somewhat by Michael Collins, who was gaining an advantage. And the referee signals it's going to be a Roscommon free. Paul Early chipping as that applause for Tommy Lennon rings around the stadium. So Roscommon then having a 5th point from Paul Early. So Mayo then holding the advantage. Mayo bidding this year for a 33rd title in Connacht. It's fisted down by Newton. Dermot Flanagan reading the game so well. Back to Sean Maher, who held off his opponent with his arm. Forward for Dermot Flanagan again, pursued by Gary Wynn. Waiting for support, gets it from McHale. The little chip outside was intended for Tom Riley here. Towards Martin Carney, they're having to go the long way about it. Jimmy Burke, the old head. Can he steer it on target? Well, that's why he was brought in the second half. Contributing to the goal, and now contributing to this latest point. So Roscommon then having to bridge a goal and 3 points once again. Tony McManus trying to flick it down for Junior McManus. Read well, however. That's Frank Noon carrying it out of defence, linking up with Liam McHale, released quickly to TJ Kilgallen. They're anchoring well in midfield, supporting one another as well, playing well into the breeze. Martin Carney on the left boot once more, and they've got a winning look about them at the moment. Carney's 4th point. 7 points now the margin. Oh, a lovely catch. Beautiful fielding by Liam McHale, but held as he took it to the ground. Injured as well. A player who opted out of the pre-Olympics with the Irish basketball selection in order to train with Mayo. Trainer not allowed on. Referee says, let's get up and let's get on with it, and this is a big guy. I think a bit of support from Sean Maher as well. Jimmy Brown's kick. Comes back towards Paul Early. Trying to get this very sluggish Roscommon forward line moving, but this is a great defensive display. Despite that foul there, Sean Maher gets it out. Mayo with their tails up. TJ Kilgallen to Burke, what a change he's made. He's been able to hold the ball up there, slow things down to his own pace, and win frees like this one here. Oh dear. Well, he ran into Dury that time, and Dury's already been booked in this match. Let's just see that incident once again. Jimmy Burke against Dury. Oh my goodness, that was another sending off offence straight in. Well, he's been booked already and he should now be off, I feel. Referee is having a word with Pat Dury. Well, he didn't have the advantage of replay, but he does have 6 officials to assist him. Next few seconds of action between this pair will be worth watching. Mark Butler. Save by Gay Sheeran. Out it comes, well gathered by John Newton. Forward to Seamus Killoran. Ooh, he fumbled, and there's nothing at all going right at the moment for Roscommon. A very edgy performance in finals so far played between this duo. This is the 20th. Mayo lead 8-9. And they're looking like making it number 11. John Newton held up there by Dermot Flanagan, committing the foul. Remember, it's 110 to 6 points. Mayo the leaders. Flanagan just breaks it down enough for John Finn, a really good left half back, to pick up the pieces. Out to Tom Riley. That goal has given them a lot of confidence from Riley in the 12th minute of the second half. Pursued over there by Des Newton. Still going forward, fouled, and the free is awarded in. And Willie Joe Padden is getting ready to come in. That left thigh very heavily bandaged. They say he's fully fit once again, but lacking match practice. 10 minutes remaining as that man of many parts, Dermot Flanagan, kicks and scores. The scoring centre half-back has scored 2 points. Is that now enough? Or is there a Roscommon response? Willie Joe is poised and ready to come in. That's John Prenti there, the secretary of the Mayo County Board. Tony McManus, meanwhile, And the Roscommon forwards still have to score from play, that is. Junior McManus. Tony was pursued along the line over there by Michael Collins, gets the second chance, and it's off target. Roscommon have only scored 6 points in the game so far. 5 from frees by Paul Early, 1 from Seamus Killoran. And the big cheer now greets the arrival of the man from Galmullet, Willie Joe Padden, former All-Star. Is this the final card that Mayo are going to play? Will it be an ace? Meanwhile, coming into the Roscommon team is Donal Brady. Eugene Lavin. This is Brady, straight in. Killoran, his partner John Newton, who was a disappointment in midfield today, has moved into the forwards. Brady for Tony McManus. And finally, the Roscommon forwards get motoring, but it's very, very late with only 6 minutes remaining. That's the first point the forwards have got from play. Towards Willie Joe Padden, a good catch. Fans love that. The release to Sean Maher. He's had a good game as well. Towards Noel Durkin. Durkin, who got one of the Mayo points, back to Willie Joe, into space. Dury judges it well. Dropped back there by Jimmy Brown, who then was sharp and smart enough to go back and repair his own mistake. Jimmy Brown still willing to enter the fray, driving it forward, touched on by Mark Butler to Tom Riley, inside to TJ Kilgallen. Oh, saved by the goalkeeper, Gay Sheeran. Tom Riley feeding TJ Kilgallen. Angle was getting acute. The little chip over Des Newton's head. Watch to see if the goalkeeper actually touched it. Well, I think it was into the side netting off the post. Michael Donlan forward towards John Newton. A good catch up there in the forward line. There's a player loose inside, Junior McManus. He's going alone, however. John Newton has put it wide. Oh, much to the annoyance of the Roscommon fans. There was another forward gloriously positioned to have received the pass inside. But Newton went it alone and fluffed the opportunity. Durkin wins possession ahead of Gary Wynn. Inside to Tom Riley, turning, looking for the post, then having to go the long way around. The chip is good, and that's a goal, and 12 points now to 7 points for Roscommon. And Riley's got a goal and a point of that tally. Roscommon continuing the fight. Tony McManus, ooh, bad tackle that by Dennis Carney on Junior McManus, indeed. And some pushing and shoving going on still between Sean Maher and Junior McManus. Paul Early towards John Newton. Comes down into the waiting arms, however, of TJ Kilgallen. Out to Willie Joe Padden, shoots the shoulder, belts with the left boot towards Noel Durkin's wing. Tussling there with Gary Wynn, booted away by Gary Wynn, down towards Donal Brady, and Dermot Flanagan has enough time to casually make his way across from centre half back to cover the gaps. McHale flares to aim at, but seconds to waste as well, as Mayo would seem to be well and truly on their way to another Connacht title. But John Newton might have something to say about that. In towards Junior McManus. The shot by Junior McManus, his first point of the afternoon, but too little, too late. They check on the watches over there. We're into time added on by the referee for any injuries that may have happened, and there weren't too many of those in the second half. Mayo's 11th win over Roscommon in the Connacht Championship, and Mayo are champions once again. After a 3-year gap, they win the title in Dr. Hyde Park. It's dancing jubilation for Dermot Flanagan and his colleagues by 112 to 8 points. Mayo's 33rd provincial win, and with the side's craft, experience in key positions, and that defiant nature as well, I think they'll be hoping to make further progress next month when they take on the Leinster champions in the All-Ireland semi-finals. Mayo will be going back to Croke Park for the All-Ireland semi-finals. It's Mayo's day in Connacht.
We came into the match very much as underdogs, and that's the way we wanted to come in. And even at half-time, I suppose you could say that the 3-point lead wasn't enough, but the panel and the players have worked very hard over the last 3 or 4 months, and I was expecting a fight from them, and that's what they gave me.
One of the turning points in the match, of course, was that goal after 12 minutes of the second half by Tom Riley.
Yes, it was a great goal. Tom worked very hard. It was a very good combined effort, and Tom put it away excellently, and I was delighted for him. Mayo
are clearly delighted to have had this success coming here to Roscommon Town to do so, but generally the standard of the game seemed to me to be low.
Well, possibly, but I suppose we won by, what, 7 or 8 points. From our point of view, we're happy enough. Obviously, you'd like to win in more style, maybe, but the win, again, didn't make it that easy to play stylish football today.
Where is the room for improvement, do you think?
Well, we're working on our game all the time. We have 4 weeks now before we play the All-Ireland semi-final, so that possibly we'll have to work at even getting more scores.
We knew we had to get the first few scores straight after half-time, and that's what we were going for. We were lucky enough they came off.
You've had to battle yourself, Tom, to get back into this Mayo team. Must have been very exciting for you to make it through again.
Oh, yeah. I'll treasure it. Hope to stay there now.
It could be Mayo and Monaghan in the All-Ireland final. Who would know if it was? How would you feel then? You're a Monaghan man.
Hopefully, Monaghan man, but I'll have to go for Mayo that day.
Everybody had us written off. We were no hopers. We were in fact doubting ourselves, and we're so happy to win it.
Didn't have a great run in the league, Martin. Where did it all come right, or when did it come right?
Well, it came right because we had a group of players and a management that persevered with us, didn't throw half a dozen of us away when they should have perhaps earlier in the league. And we worked very hard throughout the spring in particular. And I really am very, very happy for everybody.
Now, you're a player who takes this game very, very seriously. Your head must have been down a little last year after losing the Connacht final.
Last year I'd given it up after the Connacht final, but I came back for the league, and I'm thrilled now that it was worth it. You know?
And where do you go from here, Martin?
I'll go and have a few drinks, Jim.
It's a very, very emotional day personally, but more importantly for the team. Many people had been asking whether the 1985 was just a once-off. Well, I think this confirms that there is some talent in the county, but I think it's also a new team and a first for this team.
Well, you've always been noted for consistency, but I think one of your finest games today, you must be personally very pleased with your own form. Did the captaincy perhaps bring out that little bit extra in you?
Well, I don't think so. I think on the other hand, I think all the players around me inspired me, and I think it was a great team performance today, particularly in the second half. I think we lifted one another.
You were very disappointed in Castlebar last year, Dermot. You yourself had injury and illness problems at the time.
Yes.
What's another year is the old slogan. I'm sure it means something to Mayo now.
It is. Many of us were doubting whether we'd really make a breakthrough after 1985. I think this is a great boost for us and a reward for a lot of hard work and a lot of soul-searching during the winter months of 86 and 87.
Yes, well, I'm sure that Dermot's dad, Sean, was a very proud man in Roscommon today, having led Mayo to great successes himself in the early 50s, when even Enda Colleran was a young lad. And I note that you're wearing the red and green tonight, so you must have been confident in Mayo.
True, yeah, but I didn't tell you that I had the Roscommon colours also, but I didn't show them.
Well, I made a little gesture in that direction myself. Now, today's match, it was a very scrappy game, and the wind, I suppose, was the contributory factor there, but nonetheless, we were impressed with Mayo.
Yes, it was a scrappy game, but I thought perhaps we could blame the wind, but Mayo played some very good football at times, and I thought their defence in particular, they marked the Roscommon forwards very closely, and they didn't give them any room at all. And I think an indication of this was the fact that no Roscommon forward scored for until 6 minutes before the end. Here we have a good movement here, and the ball breaks down. Roscommon get possession, but Mayo, through the persistence of Noel Durkin, get the ball, and then a lovely combined movement with Martin Carney, one of their great players today, combining with Jimmy Burke and on to Liam McHale, and a great goal, a fine combined movement. Super quality football and a great movement. And I think once again we see the short kick out. The Roscommon forwards were not alert in the fact that they let Mayo use this ploy very often in the second half today, and they built up attacks from their own back line, and they were content to persevere and to string a lot of passes together in order to get into a scoring position, as we see here, where we have a lot of passes, great play and skill from Dermot Flanagan, and getting the ball to Liam McHale, and they hold on to the ball until they see a colleague loose. Now, the Mayo forwards fight very well for the ball here to regain possession, and beautiful skill from Tom Riley. And there are 5 Roscommon defenders around him at this stage, so obviously they are loose men, and he finds Martin Carney, and Martin Carney finds Jimmy Burke, and Jimmy has time even to fall and get up again and kick it over the bar. You know, beautiful movement, and they didn't lose confidence. They played the ball round, and that's what it's all about.
Well, now, Andrew, we saw there in the clip Roscommon being very lax on those kickouts and not covering players and all the rest of it. But against Galway in the semi-final, they were really tenacious. They were very determined. They played very well. What happened to them in the meantime?
Yeah, they looked a completely different team today, and I think that they lost confidence early on, and for that reason their game fell apart in the second half. We can see here how they left. TJ Kilgannon is right inside the Roscommon defence here. Very, very poor marking, because there's no way that a forward should be left loose like that, and he avails of the opportunity. And then, just as I've spoken about previously, the short kick out, how the Roscommon forwards allowed Mayo to use this ploy all of second half, and John Finn here can pick the ball up at his ease, and they were able to steady up things and build up attacks against the wind like that. Once again, we see Roscommon get possession here with John Newton, a fine run, but look at the loose Roscommon player calling for the ball, but he doesn't pass the ball to him at all, and he chooses to have a go himself, and the angle is too narrow wide. When they did get the opportunities, they choose the wrong options.
OK, Andrew, well, now we've talked about the Mayo men, we've talked about the Roscommon men. Let's talk about another man. The referee often comes under scrutiny. Sometimes we have to criticise him in the programme, but I'm happy to say a good word for Mickey Kearns tonight.
Yes, I thought that he did a very good job, and I thought it was very refreshing to see the use, how his linesmen and umpires combined with him and cooperated with him. And if you watch here, you will see the linesman coming in with the flag raised to notify the referee that something has happened. He comes over and consults with him, and not content with that, he will go on to consult with his umpire as well, and when he finds the culprit, he takes the action. I thought it was a fine display, team display from the referee and the officials. But I think that even the most vigilant of referees sometimes can't see everything. If we watch here now, an altercation between Mayo full forward and the Roscommon full back, and watch the way the Roscommon full back keeps an eye out to see if the referee looking, and then when he decides the referee is not looking, takes the action.
Well, as Ger Canning said in his commentary, the referee doesn't have the benefit of replay, but certainly the Roscommon fullback, very lucky he didn't leave the field there, because he had his name taken earlier on.
That's true, that was the second offence, and he certainly should have got his walking papers then.
Now, we saw Mayo win the Connacht final in 1985. They went to the All-Ireland semi-final, played a very good game against Dublin, nearly beat them. Do you think they can produce it again this year, be it Meath or Dublin?
Mayo are a puzzle in a way, because when they're playing well, they can play very well, and when they're playing badly, they really play badly. So I think that they have to convince themselves. Today, once Mayo got on top and they said to themselves, we can win this game, they played great football. But sometimes it takes them great convincing to do that. Now, if they go out against Dublin or against Meath and they're in that frame of mind, then they will take stopping. There's no doubt about it, because I always believe Mayo had natural footballers, natural athletes, and it was just in the mind really that they failed. And once they can do that, once they get that okay, then they will take some stopping.
Well, on a personal level, Enda, I'm sure that you're sorry that Galway won't be in the All-Ireland semi-final this year. However, the Minors will, because they won the Connacht title, of course, in Roscommon today, beating Mayo, despite the fact that they gave away 2 very early goals to Mayo, and they did win nonetheless.
That's true. I think it's great for the morale in a county to have a team in an All-Ireland semi-final. And I think with the minor team, it shows that you have young players coming through. Granted, some of the scores, I thought that most of the scores today were of a scramble variety, as was that goal.